I guess I want to talk about my binaural experience. I had I believe it was this year. It was this year I had my binaural kundalini experience. My first kundalini experience ever, my first well, me recorded in my mind. That's the only one I could remember um of my first kundalini experience. Wow, what an amazing experience that was. I tell you what. I think at one point I think it was towards the end of my last relationship. I was really focused in meditating, and I think it must have happened before summer. I would say it would be like maybe February, March, possibly. And do that I was doing the Thoth meditation, the one I actually mentioned in the last video or the last two videos, where the one I was talking about Super Saiyan. So I was doing that meditation. I was laying down, um, pointing my head to the east, and then I put my hands on the solar plexus. And I also did a thing where I was like, you know what? I wonder if by the monitors, one sitting up around my head and the other one sitting at below my feet. I wonder if this will amplify my meditation experience, and kind of like a battery. You have the negative and the positive. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if this will amplify my meditation. I don't know if it did or not, but for sure something did happen that day where I mean, I think it was combined with a lot of things. Me being an alkaline diet, and also um, practicing semen retention, and putting the binaural beats and doing Thoth's meditation all in that same day, um, made me have that Kundalini experience. And it was just a beautiful experience. It was just one of those things where I didn't expect it to happen. I didn't know it was gonna happen. It only happened once with me, and I would love to recreate it and do it again and see if I would have the same outcome. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would say for an hour I was meditating and focusing in, and just trying to really raise up my vibration. It was an intense meditation. It really was, because I felt this great energy during that point and during that day. And for that, I think within an hour, um, I actually got successful toward in that hour. It was like towards the end of the hour. Um, but I was using a website called brainneural.com. You should really go check them out. I'll probably link. Hopefully, I when I edit this video, I will link it here. But it's called brainneural.com. I have been using their website for a good amount of years already. It's a binaural generator. I mean, you should really go check them out. I love their website. I go check it out all the time. Hopefully one day I would have my own website up and running, just like that website, because it's really helpful. And let's so yeah, it's so I'm like deep into the meditation, man, and I'm at this point. It's like, okay, I really wanted something to happen, but I wasn't expecting it to. I actually really wasn't expecting it to. I was just deep into my meditation, and then lo and behold, I start seeing these sparks freaking fly in my head, and the first thing I saw, the first color I saw was yellow. It became yellow. It was like this nice, beautiful yellow, really bright, and then it started changing. And obviously, I had my eyes closed during this meditation, and it got real intense. And then at one point, it was just a bunch of colors, and then out of the colors start kind of like fading away and setting and creating this own background. And through this background, like if you were to turn on your computer and you see this background, but so the colors kind of fade into the background, And I mean, there's just beautiful colors, but lo and behold, a a I would say a face appeared in my head. A very colorful face, very beautiful, beautiful colors. I would say bluish green, greenish, and so imagine from the Snow White movies where you see just the head from the magic mirror. So imagine that, but very colorful, very, I would say, friendly face. Um, but the face didn't really emit any emotion. It was almost like it was studying me. Like it was curious. And it was just we were just both looking at each other, and it was just so bizarre. I mean, it was the first time it ever happened to me. So, actually seeing a face during meditation was actually pretty. And this meditation, I mean, that experience alone only lasted about 15 seconds. So I think at that point I did access my kundalini energy. That's the DMT, actually hit the brain. But I would say it lasted only 15 seconds. But within those 15 seconds, just with that, I was like, wow, this is interesting. And because the face didn't emit any emotion, but it obviously was friendly. But it was like observing me just quietly. And so the face, I wanted to give into the details about the face because the face is what was very interesting. Um, you know how in pop culture, and I can't stand pop culture, but it's un- it's the only it's the only description I have of it, and I wish it was not to not no, no offense to the being that appeared in my meditation, but I wish it wasn't the stereotypical. I wouldn't say it's a gray because it probably isn't a gray. I would think it's a being that has a large head, almond shaped eyes, but it didn't look like your stereotypical gray either. It just seemed like an intelligent being, and the head wasn't that large. It really wasn't that large. It was decently roundish shape sized, and so that was an interesting meditation experience for sure. I think the second day after, I had another similar experience, but they gave me a date. There was a date. I didn't see a face. I saw like a date, and for some reason it was March 3rd, and I don't know what that means. I started seeing letters appear in my and and numbers appear in when I had my eyes closed. Um, and that was just interesting that that image came to my head too during the next day's meditation. But that was my first Kundalini experience. Oh, and for you those that don't know, um, in the Monroe Institute, studies about binaural beats, they uh they explain that you will have a Kundalini experience under the influence of binaural beats. So you don't have to take drugs. Mind you, I wasn't under any psychedelics during this meditation. I did Thoth's meditation. I focused on I guess my pineal gland sparking, and it sparked. When it sparked, it sparked. Because my third eye, I mean, that was just the coolest experience I've ever seen. And I to this day, I'm like, wow, actually, this is amazing. Like, the fact that I was able to communicate with another being, and it's not my first time, obviously, but, actually see a face. So that was very interesting, because I have never seen them. I've seen another, wow, now sudden realization, I have never seen another being, you know, and that's just crazy, right? Like that, this might not, like it hits me harder now, me just saying it, and I'm like, wow, it's my first time seeing another being that's not human. Well, that's not human facially. I mean, humanoid. who knows? It could be a future, my descendant. I don't know. Who knows? So or interdimensional being that just like, hey, you know. But yeah, no words were exchanged. It was just an observance of observing each other. But it's just cool because I didn't see a body, right? So it's like it was just a floating head. Like that's why I said it's like the mirroring and the or the Crash Bandicoot heads that that appear. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that was pretty cool. I think that's a story I haven't told on actually this platform, and because it happened this year, um, several months ago, and that was, I mean, guys, I can only say binaural beats, binaural beats, binaural beats, binaural beats. Please apply yourselves, listen to them on a day-to-day basis, understand that these beings are here to help us grow, learn, you know what I mean? And even binaural beats is just for our own frequency upgrade, you know what I mean? It's for our own brains. Our brains need to be hemi-synced. Without binaural beats, our brain waves are just out of sync. They're not synced. We need to sync our brain waves at all times, constantly, because it's gonna prevent depression. It's gonna prevent stress. It's gonna prevent you from um, other cognitive failures or dysfunctions. You understand? You want cognitive function to function, if that makes sense. But you want to be at your 100% best at all times. And binaural beats do help with that. Um, I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be developing a binaural beat application. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's going to happen. I'm manifesting it. It's going to happen. Other than that, this is Lightword 369. I can't wait to come back for the other video. Love, light, love you guys. Energy, frequency, vibration. I'm out.